in last session we saw that Pandavas entered into arena, and that time some of the Brahmins, because they were disguised as the Brahmins, some of the Brahmins were against them. They thought, these are untrained people. Now the big kings could not lift this bow. Some of them could not string it. Some of them could not properly send the arrow. Some of them could not shot the target. And how this untrained Brahmanas who don't have any strength in their arm are going to dare this thing? It's so difficult thing. And they were saying, they stood up from their, some of them Brahmanas stood up from their seat. They were saying, don't humiliate us in front of everyone. And some of them were saying, it's so ridiculous, please come and sit, take your seat. But some of them were with that Brahmins, who were disguised as the Pandavas, and they told, that we cannot doubt the potency of the Brahmanas. And they gave the examples of the Parshuram, who was although the Brahmana, but who he extinguished all the race of the Kshatriyas from the world. They gave the example. Then they gave the second example of the Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni, he drank the whole ocean, and then some of the Brahmanas convinced other Brahmanas that we cannot suspect the power of doubt the power of the Brahmana. Now, although they may not have the martial skills and power, but they have the spiritual power. Spiritual power is always powerful than material power, and they got convinced, little bit convinced, and they sat down on their seat. And then the Pandava, the Arjuna came forward. He looked at the bow. He made the circumambulation around that bow 3 times. Then he, without any hesitation, without any problem, he just lifted the bow. Then without taking a time, he bent that bow into the semicircle, and immediately he could string it. And people were wondering what he is doing. And then suddenly he knelt down and he targeted at the mark, and he immediately took the arrow, the golden arrow which was kept on the table, and Arjuna shot the arrow, and it went with the razor speed. It immediately went through the hole which was rotating, which was on the rotating disc. It went through it, it passed through it, and pierced the eyes of the target, and that target fell upon the ground. And then there was huge noise, huge sound resounded in the stadium. People started playing the kettle drums and various musical instruments. Brahmanas started chanting the Vedic mantras. The celestial beings started showering flowers. They started singing. Gandharvas started singing. Some of the people, they composed the poetry upon the Arjuna, and they started singing the glories of the Arjuna. And then Arjuna immediately approached the Draupadi, and the Drupada was thinking, who is this person? Who is the Brahmana? No, either he must be a Drupada or some powerful Brahmana. But what about the Yaja's blessing upon me? He had told she will marry only with Arjuna. Now, who is this person? He might be Arjuna. Like that he was thinking. And when he came in front of her, she immediately offered the garland around his neck. And when she saw his face, she was really very, very happy. He was looking like a god. And then she was also thinking, although he is not the king, but he is the powerful Brahmana, so he has all potency to protect me. So she agreed to marry with him. And immediately the Yudhishthir Maharaj told that his brothers that it's time to leave, let us leave, we have won the match. But here the Duryodhana and party, they were and all the kings, they became really enraged with the anger. They were thinking, we could not take this the competition, but this person within a moment pierced the eyes of the target. What's this? This is just insult to us. Drupada had called us from so far just to insult us, and how is Brahmana, such insignificant poor Brahmana, is going to take care of the Draupadi? Now better he should have offered to us. But whatever, we will take the revenge of this. And as they were saying this, Yudhishthira told, let us leave. And the Pandava brothers were living with the Draupadi. But Duryodhana told all the kings, who were present there, he told that we will march on to the Drupada, we will not make this Swayamvar to happen, we will destroy this Swayamvar, like that he was saying. And all the people, all the princes, they took out their weapons and they went to kill the Drupada, and Drupada became little fearful because all these were very powerful kings of the world. And that time Yudhishthira Maharaj thought, now something has to be done, because Drupada is not only the particular king, but he is now our father-in-law, we have to do something. And that time he ordered the Bhima and Arjuna to go and fight with all these kings. So Bhima and Arjuna went there, and Bhima immediately uprooted big tal tree from that arena, and Arjuna had the same sacrificial bow he was carrying there, and both started shooting at the various princes. And then the Karna started fighting with Arjuna, and Shalya from the Madhya Desh, he started fighting with the Bhima, and everyone was watching this fight. And soon it happened that Karna got very badly defeated with the Arjuna. He was throwing the arrows, thousands and thousands of arrows, but Arjuna was giving the answer to the arrows. And then the Karna actually became really fatigued, and he told to the Arjuna that you look like a Brahman, but I know that either you will be Parshuram or Lord Vishnu, and you cannot be or you can be a Drona, because nobody can defeat me, even Arjuna cannot defeat me. So I think you will be Lord Vishnu himself. So he bowed down to him. That time Arjuna, who was disguised as the Brahmana, he told, neither I am a Vishnu, neither I am the powerful Parshuram, and but I am a Brahmin, and you should understand the Brahmins have more power than the Kshatriyas, like that. He didn't reveal his identity. And here the Bhima also whirled the Shalya by by catching his head. He was whirling him, and he threw him to on the ground. He was then the Shalya was fainted, and Bhima was about to kill the Shalya, but he thought, oh, he's my uncle, he is the brother of the Madri, who was my mother, like that. So they actually relieved him. So now all the kings were really, their hopes were shattered. They were thinking to attack these two Brahmins, but by seeing their prowess, they thought, if we want to be saved, let us remain away from them. But still they tried to attack all together on these two people. And that time the Brahmanas started coming there, and they told, don't worry, oh Brahmana, we are also with you, we will chant some mantras and we will throw water on them, sacrificial water on them, and they will be killed. That time the Pandava brother told, no, do not worry so much, these are just our play. And they felt really insulted, the other kings really felt insulted. And meanwhile the Krishna came there, Krishna was standing there, he was seeing the match, he was observing the match, he was really laughing, and he was already knowing that they are the Pandavas, but he just informed Balaram that now I am convinced that he is Arjuna, because there is no archer in the world who can pierce the target, and there is no person in the world who can uproot the biggest of the tal tree. So they did that. So I know that he is a Bhima and he is Arjuna, like that. And Balaram also happily agreed with that. And then the Krishna entered into the arena, and Krishna told, why you are so worried, dear friends, and then with the sweet words of argument, he pacified everyone, and he told, now Draupadi is married with the Brahmanas, let her stay happily with the Brahmanas, what's your problem? No, let's go to our home. Then he, with his sweet voice and sweet words, he pacified everyone, and then everyone left for their home, and even the Pandavas also returned back to their home. Now in the next session we will see what happens when Kunti sees the Draupadi. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.